For the second time in state history, Minnesota's voters will cast their ballots in a Super Tuesday presidential primary, but the voting process is already underway. Early absentee voting in the presidential primary opened on Friday. The results will help determine who's on the ballot when voters select the next president in November.
The presidential nomination primary is really important for the voters. Again, it's telling the parties their preference for a presidential candidate.
In Brooklyn Park, voters can cast their ballots in person at City Hall. Voters in the primary request a ballot for the party of their choice. Minnesotans can choose between the Legal Marijuana Now, Republican, and DFL parties. The DFL has 9 candidates on the ballot. Both the Republican and Legal Marijuana Now parties have 5. Ballots were finalized earlier this month, so some candidates have already dropped out of the race. Early voters have more flexibility to take back their vote this year if their candidate drops out.
If a candidate drops out prior to that 18-day period, the voter can come back and re-vote for their candidate.
Any registered voter is eligible to participate in the primary. You can either pre-register or register at your polling place. The New Hope City Council is set to approve changes on how the city records write-in votes for local offices. According to the resolution, the city of New Hope will no longer record write-in votes unless the total number of write-in votes is equal to or greater than the fewest number of votes for a ballot candidate. City officials support the change, saying the current write-in vote recording process requires considerable time and resources. State statute allows cities to govern the rules for counting write-in votes of local elected officials. Brooklyn Center police are looking for whoever fired shots from a vehicle, seriously injuring a man. According to police, the shooting happened around 11:30 Saturday night outside a home in the 5100 block of Xerxes Avenue North. Witnesses told police the victim confronted someone inside a vehicle in the street when shots were fired. Police say the victim was struck in the torso but is expected to survive. Officers recovered 20 bullet casings as well as a firearm. As we went to air, no arrests had been made. After 18 hours of deliberation, Anoka-Hennepin educators and the school district have reached a tentative contract agreement. Mediation started at 9 in the morning Friday and went until 3 in the morning Saturday. As of Monday, the executive board for the Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota Teachers Union was reviewing the agreement for approval. If approved, union members will then vote on the deal. If that's accepted, then the school board will vote on the contract. Union teachers have been without a contract since July. Teachers had been asking for salary and benefit increases. A release from the school district says final contract approval could occur as soon as the February 26th school board meeting. As any homeowner knows, the services of a handyman are sometimes needed. In this edition of Business Matters, Delane Cleveland shows us a local company that can help, and it's run by a group of people that can help save lives.
Since these holes, they're really kind of stripped, so I'm going to mount this slightly lower with some new holes.
Every once in a while, things in your home break.
Our house is vintage. It was built in 1979. The sliding door is original to the house. That latch has been a nuisance for the last several years. I've tried coming up with a solution to it, not successfully, and so I figured it was time to bring in the pros.
So to fix that sliding door, he called in Curtis Smith.
It's a quick solution and cheap compared to having a door expert come out and charge them a lot more money.
Smith may not be a so-called door expert, but he knows his way around a house. After all, he spent 18 years working as a Golden Valley firefighter.
These people in various fire services are extremely handy. They know a lot about construction. They know a lot about how a home works. So that translates really well to them knowing how to do all these handyman jobs.
Yeah.
You see, Smith isn't doing this alone.
It is rubbing a little bit on this side, so the first thing I'm going to look at is if we're able to tighten up these screws right here.
He's part of a team of 4 firefighters who started the business Firefighter Handyman, which provides home repair services around the metro.
We tend to do the smaller jobs. It's the stuff that might be considered DIY.
See how that one works.
Yet not every do-it-yourself project is something a homeowner can, well, do themselves.
I'm not a handy person.
Mark Barris figured if these firefighters can be trusted with people's lives, he can trust them with some basic home repairs.
For me, it's a no-brainer trusting them to come into my home and help me with the problems that I'm not able to remedy myself.
Mark and Julie have a sliding glass door handle that's really just not been working that well.
Each service call costs about $100 an hour. And if they can't fix something, they won't charge you.
We're not looking to make millions of dollars. We're really looking for supporting firefighters and the fire service. Quick and easy, a little bit of a lock.
A worthy cause that will also help take care of those annoying projects around the house.
It makes me happy to be able to tell my other friends, hey, these are people I know, they've done work at my home, and it's worked out perfectly.
Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The company is looking to add staff, so any active duty firefighter who can work 15 to 20 hours a month is welcome to apply. Sanborn Park in Robbinsdale is opening its warming house for skaters for the first time this season, but organizers suspect the ice won't stick around for long. Finally, outdoor skaters are hitting the ice.
It feels good. I haven't skated outside since 9th grade, so it's nice to be back out here.
9th grade was 2 years ago for Will Allen, but these past winters haven't been kind.
Last year was just so, ugh.
This week, outdoor rinks in Robbinsdale are open for business.
It's been a really bad year for outdoor rinks, so.
Right now, things are looking smooth.
I like to spin and go fast.
The ice gets soft.
Matt Bazek is the Recreation Services Manager for the city of Robbinsdale. He says this year has been a process.
Continually flooding, layer by layer until the ice is thick enough. So it takes the ground to be frozen in order to start, which is where we had the issue initially because the ground wasn't frozen until like January.
And with the rinks, the warming house opens to the public on weekday evenings.
This is definitely the latest it's been, but there's never been a season without ice, so they're excited to get this ice out.
But all that work could lead to a short-lived return.
We're hoping that it stays around for a little bit as the weather looks to warm up.
For now, kids are taking advantage of the ice time and the sunshine. The warming house is open from 5 until 9 in the evening on weekdays, and from noon to 9 on Saturday and Sunday.
The Maple Grove and Osseo boys basketball teams have played a number of close games against each other through the years. Their latest battle was no exception.
The Crimson coming into the game with a 7-6 record, the Orioles 12-3. Maple Grove's Gannon McGuire drives baseline and scores with a layup on what would be a big night for him. It was a very low-scoring first half, but Osceo's Damari Larkins beats the buzzer with this long two-pointer. Orioles lead the Crimson 20-15 at halftime. Maple Grove comes out strong in the second half. Off the inbounds pass, Keegan Harney hits for three, part of a 16-7 scoring run for MG. Then it's McGuire with a three. He scores 17 points in the game, and Maple Grove leads by 10. But the Orioles chip away. Good interior pass from Benny Makinen to Aaron Smith for two. Osceo's within 4. Larkins was tough to stop. He scores here and is fouled on his way to a 30-point night. But the Crimson make enough of their free throws down the stretch to win it. 59-58, Maple Grove is the final.
As part of a varsity basketball doubleheader, the Osseo and Maple Grove girls tipped off an evening of hoops at Maple Grove, renewing their 27th season rivalry.
First of 2 regular season meetings between the Crimson and the Orioles. Good start for the home team. Maple Grove's leading scorer, Jordan Odie, hitting for 3 to put the Crimson ahead 6-0. A 19-point night for the junior. Then from almost the same spot, Kate Holmquist drains a 3. Maple Grove's lead is 10 at 14-4. Good steal here for Osceo's Jalen Choi. She takes it all the way for a layup. Choi led the Orioles in scoring in the game with 17 points. Maple Grove leads 36-20 at halftime. Early second half, a lot of quick passes and sharing of the ball here by Maple Grove leads to an open look for Claire Stern for 2. She netted 16 points. The Orioles' Nevaeh Torma gets the ball and works her way to the basket to score and draw a foul. Part of a stretch where she scored 7 straight points for the Orioles. 12 points overall for Torma. But Maple Grove holds its double-digit lead. Bella Hanna in transition takes it to the basket and scores as the Crimson go on to beat the Orioles 77-47.
Heritage Christian Academy and West Lutheran boys basketball teams are both having solid seasons. And the Eagles and Warriors squared off Friday night. Ches Moots has the highlights.
HCA undefeated at 4-1 in the Minnesota Classic Athletic Association. West Lutheran 4-1 in conference play. First half, Josh Sockeye down the lane, one-hand scooping layup, good for 2 of his 14 points on the night. It was a back-and-forth first half. West Lutheran got hot right before the break. Set play for Isaiah Ronning, one dribble pull. The senior beats the buzzer. Ronning had a game-high 25. Warriors up 8 at the half. They kept that rolling in the second. Aaron Schuler pick and roll finds Micah Davis, puts a little English on it. Wes Lou rolling, but Heritage made some tough baskets down the stretch, a lot of them coming from Aaron Palmer. He chipped in 12. The Eagles make a ton of free throws down the stretch and stay unbeaten in conference play with a 73-62 win over West Lutheran. In Maple Grove, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
Friday night was a doubleheader at Heritage Christian Academy. Before the boys took the court, the Warriors and Eagles girls basketball teams were in action. Here's Chaz again with highlights.
Heritage Christian Academy swept West Lutheran last year in the regular season series. After a slow start, the Eagles got going midway through the first half. Kenna Henning spots up and hits the three from the wing. She led the Eagles with 17 points. HCA led by 13 at halftime. West Lutheran stormed back in the second half. Natalie Menges goes one dribble into a pull-up three. Warriors down by 1. Then Marissa Tussler a couple of crossovers on her way to a layup. She had 21. That gave West Lutheran a 2-point lead. But the Eagles kept their poise. Melania Makoso finds a wide-open Kylie Hartle for an easy 2. And late in the second half, Hattie Sandager sticks with it on this possession. Heritage Christian Academy hangs on and gets a win over West Lutheran, 61-53. In Maple Grove, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.